going to show a quick video on how to prepare a manual cartridge using a Sherwin-Williams material.
Okay. Our components, our basic components, our dual barrel cartridge, with both the A and the B component inside, static mixer for mixing material, and our dispense gun. Start by removing the retaining nut from the top of the cartridge. Underneath there's a compression disc. We'll take that off, set that aside. And then we have our nozzle cap here. Just remove that, pop that off, set that aside. We're going to set that aside in case we use a partial cartridge. We can use this to recap the cartridge for future use. Once all that's off, we're going to take our static mixer. You see it has a bell housing which matches the top of the cartridge here. That will seat right over the top. So we're going to seat that on there, nice and snug. Place the retaining nut and tighten that down. Okay, now we're going to put that in the gun. We're going to phase the cartridge to get any resident air that may be in the cartridge out, which may throw the material off ratio. We'll start by taking the gun. You see there's a trigger here at the back on the breech end of the gun. We're going to press that in. That allows us to pull the push rods back. Okay, and then we'll release that. Once that's done, we set our cartridge over the push plates on the push rods. Push the cartridge in, make sure you're seated nice and flush, and we're good to go. Now we're going to phase in the cartridge. And again, what we want to do is, sometimes there can be, settling of material. We can get a little bit of an air pocket up here on the top of the cartridge. So we want to make sure that we get all that out so that from that point on, we're 100% on ratio. We're going to start doing that by slowly pulling the trigger on the gun. This will seat the push rods, push pins up into the seals of the cartridge. And we're going to trigger that until we see both materials, the A and the B, flow into the static mixer. You might want to tip the cartridge a little back and forth to move the air pocket into the center. So there's the A material, there's the B material. And once you got both materials in there, there's that very slight little bit of material that may be off ratio. So we're going to go ahead and dispense that into a waste receptacle. And from that point on, we should be fully on ratio the rest of the way through the cartridge. So now we can tip the gun up. Dispense out that first, it's only about maybe 10 mils of material. You'd hear that air popping as it came out. And now we're good to go. To stop the flow of the material, you're going to push that trigger on the breech end of the gun, and that will release the pressure on the push plates. Now we're good to dispense. Set it aside. And now I just trigger the gun as needed. Again, to release the pressure, press that trigger on the back, and you're good to go.